You People, the new comedy from Eddie Murphy, Jonah Hill, and Kenya Barris, hit theaters this past weekend before it hits Netflix this Friday. Most of the stars have been seen promoting the movie except for Jonah Hill. Now, back in August of 2022, Hill announced that he would no longer be doing press for any of his upcoming movies in order to protect his mental health. Now, if you remember back in 2010, Monique was famously blackballed from Hollywood for not promoting the movie Precious overseas, despite fulfilling all of her contractual obligations. Even though both of these situations are unique and nuanced, it begs the question, should celebrities be punished for putting their mental health above their work? Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Capone and Pierre, calling to the show to give their thoughts and reactions. Pierre, I'm going to kick it off with you. This is no new conversation on the Monique end, but now we're seeing the same thing from Jonah Hill with a different reaction. So I'm going to start. What are your thoughts? And also, do you think Jonah Hill proved that Monique was right for putting the personal over work?
Shout out to my man Capone. Congratulations on that weight loss journey you're going through with the outfit or the ode to Missy Elliott video. Whatever that is, I like that, bro. Keep that up, man. Good look on you, brother, okay? Respect that. Health is wealth, okay? All right. Now to the situation. It's orange and apples between the two. Jonah went for he went to break from his mental because of his mental illness he's going through, or his mental state he's at. Monique wanted that paper, that guap. She's like, I don't like traveling across country to the Cannes Film Festival if you're not paying for everything. So it wasn't about mental health for her, from what I remember being said, and she said it was, she felt she should be compensated for doing that. So it's a total two different things. One is about money and one's about mental health. So, well, I guess if you ain't get your right money, you can mess with your mental. So that might have something to do with your mental health too if you ain't getting paid. So that's a little difference.
Absolutely, and I do want to add in there, Pierre. She did mention that she didn't want to travel because she wanted to spend that time with her family. But I see where you're saying apples to oranges, but hers was more personal. She wanted to spend with her family, but you're saying Jonah Hill is more, hey, this is strictly about my mental health.
I understand. She did bring up money, and I don't think that it was mental health not spending time with your kid. Let's be real with it. You know what I'm saying? She would have said that, and only that. That's still two different things. But maybe mentally healthy. You got mentally healthy if you're around your children. Just, that might be the thing.
Capone, let me bring you in and get your reaction. What are your thoughts? Do you think Jonah Hill proved that Monique was right for putting the personal over the work?
I agree with Pierre about the apples and oranges, but if she felt however she felt, she had her rights to feel that way. Whether it was spending time with her family, whether it was for not getting paid for it, that is definitely a preference enough to say, well, I don't feel like doing this because I'm not compensated. Jonah Hill's situation, as far as being the mental challenge, like, when does it kick in? I'm being honest. I'm a little confused on what is mental about promoting, and there's no mental about filming. So what happens? What stirs and what sparks or what triggers the mental when you're out promoting a film, but it doesn't affect you when you're filming the film? So I'm a little confused about that.
Absolutely. And he does mention that he didn't want to go out in the public because there's been a lot of body shaming and things over the years. So I guess he may feel, when he goes out to the public, there may be questions that bring up, just things that he's dealt with, throughout this. Because, sometimes when you go on these, they don't just talk about the movie. They'll venture off into all the drama that's taken online. So I think that's the standpoint that he's coming from.
Okay. I understand now.
But Pierre, let me come to you, because I know and I completely understand what you guys are saying, apples to oranges, but it does kind of lead the question because Monique did fulfill her contractual obligations, and now we have Jonah Hill who's saying, I'm just not going to do it at all. I want to ask you, Pierre, do you think we owe, or an apology is owed to Monique? Because while it can be apple to oranges, we did see her get blackballed and labeled as difficult to work with when simply she fulfilled her contractual obligations and just chose to, hey, I want to spend time with my family, or as you mentioned, hey, I need more money. What are your thoughts?
I do agree with Capone about, Monique can do what she wants, once you feel that obligation, if she chose not to go, she can choose not to go and support the movie for, her reason, but her reason is different. Then, like I said, apples and oranges. No, I don't think we owe her an apology. Apology for, again, Can we rewind the tape and find out? I thought she was saying she did not want to. They weren't paying her to do that. Are we going to move that away? That's a different feel when someone says, if you ain't gonna pay me, I ain't doing it. Opposed to saying, man, my mind is not in the right place right now. I would do it if my mind was in the right place, but my mind is not. You know, right. Like you just said, they may ask me questions outside of the movie that I don't like talking about right now. You know, so he has a right. You know, we lean a little more to your health, for your health, not your finances, because Monique wasn't broke. You know what I'm saying? But for your health. If you put this man out here, he may lose it. I don't think she'll lose it if she went to Cannes and to promote the movie. I think it's because it's about she not going to Cannes. It's a different feel about you know, it's a different feel. But hey, she has a right to say, I don't want to do it. If you ain't paying me, I ain't doing it. But then this is the backlash. And people say, oh, okay, that's how you do. When we don't pay you, you ain't coming, because we're more sympathetic to mental health, people's health. We're more sympathetic to that than your greed or want for more money.
Gotcha. Okay, Capone, let me ask you that same question. What are your thoughts? Do you think Monique is owed an apology, being that she was blackballed for choosing, you know, whether, like, and let me make sure I correct. Pierre, you are correct that she does say, hey, I'm not contractually obligated, meaning, you know, past this, I'm not getting paid more, so I'm going to spend this time with my family instead. So you absolutely are correct there. Capone, let me bring that question back to you. Do you think Monique is owed an apology for being blackballed?
I think this subject that came about with her not promoting was a good excuse for her being blackballed, but from past actions was a lot more than just this situation. You know, people were saying that she was hard to work with. You know, she lost a TV show. And I, for one, didn't agree with blackballing her. And not that my opinion really counts, but, you know, just the way that, to me, modernized slavery. If you don't do what we say you're going to do, we're going to do this to you. And it's still allowing that to happen to us till this day. You know, Monique was just an example because her name was so big up there. And, you know, when she didn't want to do or kind of put herself in a position where she didn't have to do it. And they call themselves blackballing her for the simple fact that they couldn't control her. That's what it really was.
Mm. So, you know, that brings me to my next question. And Capone, I'm going to start with you and kind of pivoting into this space of mental health. As you know, right now, mental health is a big conversation. We're seeing it, you know, not only within our actors, but just in entertainment in general. We're seeing more people speak up and out about it. Do you think some artists are going to start leaning on that, hey, my mental health isn't there, so I'm not going to do X, Y, Z? And do you think that they should, you know, lean into that space a bit more?
The choice of words of leaning towards it, and I'm just trying to get the understanding, are they faking it? Are they faking it? If it's a mental, you know, situation that you feel you're going through, by all means, you should take every situation and be accountable for your own health and try to get the best help that you can get, because you can't tell if nobody's faking it. I mean, look at the brother who just committed suicide, the dancer for Ellen. You know, his life just seems like everything was perfect and beautiful. And he committed suicide and everybody wants to know answers, but there's no answers there. You know, whatever he's been through in his life is just like you're saying, it's an individual situation. And if you feel that you're going over the edge or you can't control it, yeah, you should seek help. And regardless of what the hell people think about work, mental health is way more important than work.
I love it. Pierre, let me bring that same question to you. And you mentioned it. Hey, mental health is big right now. It's something that should be taken seriously. Do you think, you know, we're going to start seeing artists lean into that more? And do you think that they should actually start stepping into that space more to say, hey, I'm not doing this because of my mental health?
Yeah, they should. I mean, mental health is so serious. Like Capone just said, people commit suicide behind that. They're not up to par when it comes time to working and stuff. A lot of people have just went through it over, you know, like they weren't mentally there for whatever reason in this behind the scenes of this business we do, and they wind up being alcoholics, with the drugs, with the alcohol, with the other things, because it looks, by the time you see what Hollywood puts out for you, it's a nice package. It's a TV show. Just like this show. What you see on this show right now, you don't see behind the cameraman and being late, people running around trying to get together and all that. You don't see all that stopping their day. All y'all see is the show. But behind the scenes is a lot going on. And sometimes it's heavier than people think. And not just show business, but people regular 9 to 5 a day, life. Raising your children, trying to be married, but in a relationship, go to work. A lot of times you got to take a day off because it's too much. So yeah, mental health should be taken very, very seriously before someone passes, does the ultimate to, take themselves out. Then we're sitting there talking about, oh, that's so sad. When they were crying out. Now, back to the Monique thing, it's a totally different thing. She wants to cure not wanting more money. And she said next, because you talk about blackballed, what would you do? If you had a project, would you hire Monique thinking she may not want to promote it afterwards because of finances? Can you cure finances or want more finances? You can cure mental health a lot of times. You can maybe, go, that's why they go to psychiatrists. You can cure that and be a better person and say, okay, I can work on this right now. But the only cure of saying, hey, I'm not going to ask for more money, because in Cannes, no one else got paid. No one else gets paid when they go overseas and do that. She's the one that said, I want to get paid. So if you have a project, do you hire her? I mean, she's talented as hell, but if she don't say, all right, you know what, I ain't gonna trip on that money. If no one else is getting paid for going overseas, I'll still do it. I'll still promote. It ain't a big deal. Then that's people will start messing with her more. It's a business, man. We making it so personal and all like, oh, I like this. It's a business, man.
So Pierre, let me ask you, take me behind the scenes for a second. Do you think press tours are as effective? Do you think, by Monique not going overseas, or in this case, Jonah Hill not going on the press tour, do you think it's going to have an effect on how well the movie does? Yes,
it will. We're doing a press tour for my special. There's a reason. If people don't know about it, they're not going to check in on it. It's old as day. It's old as day. I need the stars talking about it. I need people to see it. People will start saying, oh, I keep hearing about this movie. Oh, I want to see it. Oh, I keep hearing about it. If you don't hear about it, people don't go see it or don't watch it. There's movies on Netflix and TV shows are coming out, movies coming out. You're like, it came out already. I didn't know that movie came out already. Damn. Well, you know why you know about it? Because you hear about it. Well, no press tour. So yes, press tours are important on show for stuff. Sure.
Yeah, and I think it's important for people to know. Capone, I want to bring that same question to you. And the reason that I asked, I want to kind of set it. We have social media and people may not, be as in tune with press tours as they once were. So that's what brings the question. So Capone, let me ask you that same thing. Do you think press tours are as effective where if we see someone step away that movie may not do as well? And not that everybody's stepping away, but just one person out of the crowd is saying, hey, I don't want to go on this tour. Do you think it affects the bottom line for the movie?
I think that the main actor should always be willing to do anything to promote the show. And like Pierre said, or you said, there's social media now. Maybe he don't have to go out to the public, but he can get on social media and, pump up the movie or do whatever it is that he's doing. But to say that you're not going to promote the movie because of whatever reason, and your mental illness, whatever sparks that up, is understandable in public. But I don't think the mental illness comes into effect with social media. So being able to promote it any kind of way, I think is very important. And I think people hire people because of their actual star. If you're a star, people want to see you at work.
But let me ask you a question. You said social media doesn't. But what happens to people in the comments call them all kind of names and he sees that? You know what I'm saying? Like what? You got to block that out too. Because social media has messed up a lot of people's mentalness.
Yeah.
People, young kids commit suicide left and right because of social media being on there. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that, but I just feel that there's different ways to promote it.
Right.
But get up there and say, hey, go see the movie. And don't read the comments. Don't put the comments. You can block your comments from coming in.
True that.
Yeah.
Now, as I wrap up, Pierre, I do want to speak to, I know you said rewind the tape back. So we had some producers send in some articles. And I just want to make sure, because it does speak to exactly what you're saying. So the article reads, all I was saying, and this is from Monique, all I was saying is, guys, I don't want to work for free. I was paid $50,000 to do this movie, and I'm not complaining because I signed up to do it with my friend, and I didn't have my business hat on. I had my friendship hat on. She then later would say she opted to spend what little downtime she had at home with her family. She said the folks in Cana said tried on 3 different occasions to get her to the festival. And on the 3rd phone call, she asked if there was a dollar amount attached to the offer. They said they don't pay for actors to promote their films, and the matter was finally put to rest. So yeah, like you said, she mentioned the money, didn't get it. So she said, hey, I'm going to spend this time with my family then, and I'm not going.
Hold on a minute. Then she got paid how much?
$50,000.
$50,000 to do the movie. And Carmichael got $500,000 to host the awards. I would be pissed off too. I would be furious to know that there's this kind of money. And I can understand that there's years of difference, a couple of years, but that's a whole lot of money difference to film a movie and to pay somebody who is not as famous $500,000.
You know what? You're absolutely right. But I'll tell you what. I'll take $50,000 to win an Oscar before I take $500,000 on some bullshit show. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you that, because that her performance was immaculate and precious, and it'll be lived on. It'll be lived forever. You know,
right?
That nigga, what he just did on Golden Globes, whatever it was, is over. It's a wrap. And 2 more weeks, we'll be talking about it ever again.
Man. Well, I appreciate you both for chiming in on this topic. Of course, before we head out, I want to know what you have going on. So, Mr. Pierre, I'm starting with you. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
Shit, Capone got me amped up. I'm talking to my lawyer now about what I get paid for Comedy Hype. That, I mean, I know other niggas, Breakfast Club get paid more than this shit. Like that. So I need to talk to my lawyer, okay? Thank you, Capone. Starting some shit, nigga. There you go. I'm gonna make a phone call. So I ain't got nothing coming up. I might not come up tomorrow. Fuck it, right? If you see me tomorrow, it came up right. I'm just doing my podcast. Just check out Pierre's Panic Room on YouTube.
Absolutely, and we know to follow Pierre's Panic Room, not Comic Pierre, because right now the focus is the podcast. Capone, let me kick it over to you. What do you have coming up? And of course, how can people follow you?
This weekend coming up, and I hope that we play this and people replay it because Atlanta, I am coming to Atlanta, and I will be at the Atlanta Comedy Theater from Thursday all the way to Sunday. I need this press to keep pressing. Press the button over again so y'all could get these tickets to come to the Atlanta Comedy Theater. And if you can't reach the Atlanta Comedy Theater, follow me, Comedian Capone. And I know a lot of people who can spell comedian, but there are some who don't. And you, the ones who don't, I don't want you to follow me. So Comedian Capone on Instagram, Atlanta Comedy Theater. I will be there. Make sure that we all come out and have a laugh. That's what we need.
Absolutely. Again, thank you both for chiming in on this topic. You heard from us, now we want to hear from you in the comments below. Did Jonah Hill prove that Monique was right for choosing personal over work? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Mr. Berkowitz, I'm about to call you up in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm about to find my lawyer. Yeah, I got you. All right. Put it in the comments.
Big fan of the Comedy Hype News Show? Well, now you can join us live in studio for lunch at Comedy Hype. Click the link down below in our description or go to our Instagram page and click the link in our bio for your chance to RSVP. I hope to see you here for Comedy Hype News. I'm Symphony Thompson.